Our minuscule brain cannot perceive what is the might and sophistication of nature. Yet, without me needing to understand everything, the world exists. The land is not real estate. You own real estate. That there is land in nature and nobody owns that. This idea of time, my brain can stretch back 30 years, the land's millions, and I get to be connected to that.
Since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, humans have viewed nature as a resource from which to extract commodities: fish, energy, minerals, timber. Nature is also seen as a place to dispose of waste, often without considering the impacts it may have on the human condition, whose lives depend on a healthy ecosystem. Today, these environmental challenges continue, but a new idea, pulled from ancient indigenous practice, may provide the earth with a rights-based solution.
You are the child, and that land out there, that earth mother of yours, is your parent. No human owns your mother.
Environmental laws have existed since the 6th century in ancient Rome and have multiplied in recent years. Yet despite the growing concern about the state of our environment, our planet's health continues to decline. Under the current global legal system, humans mostly view nature as a resource and property, existing only for human benefit. This gives the owner the right to exploit nature, resulting in the current global environmental crisis. We need a solution that levels the playing field by addressing the root cause. When humans and corporations have rights, but nature does not, nature inevitably suffers. Earth law recognizes that humans and nature are intimately connected and calls on us to manage our activities in a way that benefits the Earth as a whole. Adopting Earth-based laws change the status of nature from a resource and property to a rights-bearing entity, with those rights enforceable by people, governments, and communities. Ecuador, Bolivia, and Mexico City have amended their constitutions to incorporate the rights of nature. New Zealand gave legal rights and identity to the world's first river and national park. And 43 municipalities in the United States also protect the rights of ecosystems and species, including Santa Monica. Earth needs us to transform our laws and policies to recognize that nature has inherent rights to live, thrive, and evolve. It's our responsibility to protect those rights both now and for future generations. The ocean contains over 50% of all living species, produces half of the oxygen we breathe, absorbs 1/3 of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, provides protection from extreme weather events, and is a source of food and jobs for millions of people. Overfishing, climate change, and plastic pollution have left the ocean in a rapid state of decline. Economics drive current regulations and decision-making, treating the ocean as an infinite resource, when in fact the ocean has both limits and intrinsic worth. How much more can the ocean take before we permanently disrupt its life-sustaining cycles? Earth Law Center saw the Ocean Conference as an opportunity to begin building support for a new paradigm for ocean governance, one that focuses on the ocean's own well-being. Marine protected areas can help conserve and protect this vital ecosystem, and Earth Law can strengthen their effectiveness. ELC has launched a framework for marine protected areas to serve as a guide to not only establish protection, but manage our activities in a way that balances the rights and needs of both humans and nature. At this critical juncture in our planet's future, we have the opportunity to change the way that we treat the ocean. We can ensure national ocean policies recognize the ocean's rights. We can pass local ordinances. We can ensure fishery management is done on a system basis. And we can encourage our representatives to promote legal rights in the United Nations International Treaty for Biodiversity on the High Seas. Legal rights for the ocean represents a paradigm shift and a pathway to restoring ocean health while ensuring the survival of our planet.
There are about 37 billion acres of habitable land across the world. Indigenous people and local communities occupy 65% of it. And yet these groups, a population of 1.5 billion barely own 18% of the land they occupy. So much land in the world is owned by so few. Throughout history, people in power use land to control economic resources and retain political control, further exacerbating inequality. Thankfully, there's a fix. It's called land reform. Land reform means changing the law to change who owns the land. It's a radical idea, transforming the very root of power. Land reform can take land from the ruling class and give it to the historically oppressed. There are numerous goals of land reform: reducing poverty, expanding rural development, returning land to its previous owners. However, there are dangers. Land reform can mean seizing land from people without any redress. And throughout history, it's caused violence and started revolutions. However, the world is facing a massive population explosion. And the pressure on land for food, water, and housing is growing. Readdressing how land is used is an urgent issue. Can humanity afford to keep so much land in the hands of so few?
Kumok elekiliwe lenkulukuoni ang tentiabang mekure taata iltung'anak oiro etaa yiok kiomonu enoning'oki yiok elekilikwe lang
Anetapejoitie enkang' ai nepejoo nkishu ainei nemuta nkishu tenkaraki nena ampuni naetuo naidurti ilomua atapala atapejorie nalo enkai wueji nalo aitoki anyamalu aya enkai kati inewueji aitoki aiteru ai maisha tenkaraki ninche laetuo apejoo.
Ore tanakata wueitin apa neebaiki iltung'anak onkishu enaa nkonyek oonkariak nebaiki siinche ake tanakata ng'uesin ene.
Ore neetii ina nelotu naa ena toki ayau shida naleng amu ewerriki iyiok pookin tukul tiatua enkulukuoni ang. Amu eetuo aorr iyiok aitumia enopa toki najo ilashumba divide and rule neponu airriki iyiok neeku keetai tanakata keetuo oshi ometaa kiata nchot are, iltung'anak oong'orr enkulukuoni oltung'anak ogira aing'oru olosek peibung'are kulo tung'anak ooyieu neya enkulukuoni ang.
Nji etuboki iyiok nkonyek mikiata entoki nikinyal, itu kinyal intimi, itu kinyal ing'uesi, ina taata peenyorra watalii aatijing nkwapi ang. Naa kejing'ita amu ketii dupoto oompukunot pookin neeku naa kira ilaramatak mpaka oduo taata.
Anak hortai canai, toki yati horu canai.
Samir Flores Soberanes se levantaba todos los días a las 6 de la mañana para hablar en la radio comunitaria de Amilcingo, en México, Morelos, sobre lo que está pasando en el mundo y lo que está pasando en el país, a su comunidad Amilcingo y otras comunidades en México. En el 2011, el gobierno mexicano intentó imponer el proyecto integral Morelos, que les quitaría su tierra, el agua y el bienestar. Por eso Samir empezó a organizarse con toda la comunidad, con un discurso muy claro que transmitía todos los días en la radio, en la mañana, hasta que lo asesinaron. En el 2014 comenzamos a trabajar con él. Witness cree firmemente en compartir herramientas de video para fortalecer las luchas de las comunidades que están defendiendo sus derechos humanos. Así que seguimos compartiendo estas herramientas. Y justo cuando el gobierno está iniciando una consulta para intentar imponer nuevamente el proyecto integral Morelos, Samir es brutalmente asesinado. Es urgente que el gobierno mexicano investigue a fondo el caso. No puede quedar en la impunidad, porque es justamente la impunidad lo que hace que sigan matando líderes de comunidades indígenas que están peleando todos los días en el país y en todo el resto del continente por sus derechos, por su comunidad, por sus hijos, por su bienestar.
Perguntar como é que é a primeira advogada indígena formada no Brasil. Pessoas queriam saber da minha história, não queria saber de Raposa Serra do Sol. Aí eu falava, eu dou a minha entrevista, eu conto como é que foi, mas eu só vou fazer isso se você contar também a luta que eu defendo. Para mim já é um prêmio ali, ser lembrada por uma agência a nível internacional que reúne vários países. Nós aqui do Brasil, indígenas, nós estamos precisando dessa visibilidade. Coordenei esse departamento aqui durante esses anos todos, advogada, assessora jurídica, desde a formação, né, sobre direitos humanos, direitos indígenas, também atendimento e consultoria às comunidades indígenas e também atuação como advogada nas ações judiciais, na defesa dos direitos coletivos, defesa da terra, do meio ambiente, da cultura.
Existem muitos casos de violação de direito na área de educação, saúde, né? Então eles recorrem ao departamento jurídico para ver qual a possibilidade de algum instrumento para conseguir reverter esse caso de violação, denunciar aos órgãos públicos. Né? Existem vários casos de violação aos direitos humanos que o CIE acompanha. A doutora Jane tem uma história brilhante aqui em Roraima, para mim é uma inspiração.
Sofreu por 3 vezes um atentado aqui. O primeiro foi em 2003, onde quebraram os vidros. Segunda vez sequestraram os padres que estavam aqui. E a terceira vez queimaram e destruíram. Em 2008 nós tivemos resultado positivo, 2009 só confirmou. Então essa decisão foi importante para pôr fim a muitas ameaças e violações de direitos humanos, né? Sem terra você não tem educação, não tem saúde, não tem meio ambiente, não tem economia. Então acaba que demarcação de terras indígenas é uma questão de direitos humanos também.
Trabalhou pelo nosso direito, pela nossa terra indígena, a primeira, Raposa Serra do Sol, né? Então é por isso que nós gostamos muito dela, é porque ela dá apoio nas terras indígenas, de todos os povos indígenas.
A gente sempre fala assim, ou vai, ou racha, que sempre é o lema das comunidades indígenas, ou você luta pelos direitos humanos do seu povo, ou você perde tudo. E isso eu carrego para minha vida, então você não pode desistir.
dreaming. I'm awake. I have been woken by the spirit inside that demanded I open my eyes and see the world around me.
The images are burned into my mind. The sounds of my people screaming in horror.
What are we doing? Our land is under attack! Stand up, fight back!
For us, we're connected to the earth, and that's why we protect the earth for future generations.
Our food sources, our waterways, when the environment changes, we feel it.
What's going on here at Standing Rock isn't just about Standing Rock. It's not just about stopping a pipeline. This is about the survival of humanity.
The Dakota Access Pipeline is proposed to carry billions of gallons of crude oil from North Dakota to Illinois. To do that, it has to run underneath the Missouri River, the water source for 17 million Americans, and the only source of water from a Standing Rock nation. We call ourselves water protectors. We are here to protect the water. Thousands from all over the world came to pray with us, to face the fear with love. We are something new on the planet, but we're not. We are something very old. We are warriors of peace. We won't surrender.
I need to report an assault. There are innocent, unarmed people being attacked with water and high-powered mace.
If there's police there, then it has
The police are the ones attacking innocent, unarmed people. Who protects the people from the police?
Well, the next person to talk to would be the governor's office.
Love is the strongest, this path is the hardest. But if we were strong enough to do it, we wouldn't see it. Our prayers would not be needed. This movement's very needed. Indigenous wisdom unheeded and sacred things depleted. We are a peaceful people, that's why we walk with prayer. And if that wasn't true, we wouldn't be standing here.
The purpose and the spirit of the law are good, but the problem is that the real implementation, when it becomes to the practical. So if Cambodia has the independent legal system and court system, so the court can ensure the justice for the people. My name is So Maurice. I was born and grew up in Kampong Cham province, that around 85 kilometers from Phnom Penh. When I was in high school, I liked listening to the radio with my parents, and I heard a lot about the human rights issue, human rights abuse in Cambodia. This factor that inspired me, encouraged me to study law and want to become a human rights defender. Around area, the government has proposed to construct the hydro power dam, and if the dam will be constructed, it will impact to the village of indigenous people. At least 20,000 hectares of the forest land will be clear for the dam, really harmful to the environment, to the wildlife, to the community. It means it will violate to the right of the indigenous people. The community here, they are not only don't want to build a dam, but they also want to protect the natural resource, to protect the forest, because they are live depend on the natural resource, they are live depend on the forest. We try to organize the training and workshop community to talk about the impact of the hydropower dam. In Cambodia, many places, this kind of place has been lost because of development. So we have to protect it for the young generation, and we can restore it back if this area has been lost by hydropower dam. Human rights defender life, it is not easy, and we face many challenges, especially when we go to organize the training and workshop in the community. We used to be threatened by local authority. But I am happy to be human rights defender because I can contribute to my society. Our work not benefit for myself, but we work to benefit for the local community and for the nation as a whole, because we work for human rights. We work to protect the natural resource, and the natural resource belong to everyone, and the human rights belong to every individual. Everyone can enjoy with their right.
Autumn Pelche. I come from the Wiklungkung unceded territory, and I'm Indigenous. I'm 12 years old. I'm in grade 7. I started speaking around ages 8. Well, I started speaking in my own community. My Auntie Josephine always taught me about water and the importance, because what she talks about is water. And so she kind of mentored or inspired me to do the work I'm doing today.
Everyone, let's give a great big warm welcome to Autumn Pelche.
When I put tobacco in the water, I'm praying for the water, and that's sending good energy and prayers. So that's just hope, I guess I could say. I speak for the water because water is alive and it does have a spirit, and she hurts every day because of what the people are doing to her today in the world. Polluting the water, dumping toxic waste, even just garbage. I do what I do because our water is sick. The people who own the factories of the world are disrespecting Mother Earth and making our water sick. They are killing her. Mother Earth has been in existence for billions of years, and she doesn't need us, we need her. I met Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for the first time in 2016, I'm pretty sure. I just told him about the water issue and what I want to be done in the water crisis, and for the First Nations communities that can't drink their water. I feel proud about it because I know that for the children that want to speak up, but maybe they're too afraid, I'm speaking up for them, and maybe what the work I'm doing will encourage them to do the work I'm doing, and we can all try and make a change.
Deprived of basic social needs and untouched by the country's progress, the indigenous people of Aita tribe are considered one of the poorest groups in the Philippines. Due to lack of education, their lands were left vulnerable to political and industrial exploitation. Modern infrastructure projects are slowly encroaching on their ancestral domains. For these reasons, our organization launched the Project Kamulatan, an advocacy campaign which aims to protect and promote the rights of Aitas in the civic society. This initiative empowers them by giving access to quality education, healthcare, job opportunities, and policy making. As an activist and journalist, I will continue to champion the rights of underrepresented people until we achieve a fair and just society.
I'm brave. I'm motivated. I'm strong. I'm determined. There will be a day we may lose, but not today. Today, we fight!
Today, on 18 April, we just finished planting trees in the areas. Karoro, sana!
So today we just finished planting trees in the forest in one of the village in central Kalimantan area. This is the worst burned area during the forest fire in 2015. Terus jalanlah paling. Buku catatanku ada di sana.
We are indigenous. We are the guardians of the forest. For us, forest is more than resources. That's a part of our identity. Our ancestors told us God only created this earth once. That's a gift and we have to keep it. I got a lot of fish.
My name is Manula Shinta. I'm the founder of Ranubelum Foundation.
When I was 6 years old, I saw my own house was burning in the fire. It was so painful. It's not okay to see your own home was set in the fire. The fact is, the same thing is happening right now. Our planet, our home, is burning in the fire. We believe that indigenous wisdoms are the key to save this planet. Those are wisdoms that have been keeping our forests for thousands of years. It cannot be replaced by technology, but technology can be very effective to support the restorations of the ecosystem and also to enhance our responsibility as a human. This is where our generation has to play the role. The indigenous wisdoms that we receive from our ancestors, combined with skill and knowledge that we obtain from education, can be a very powerful tool to make a change and create a better future. Best place to start? Here. When is the best time to act? Now. This is our role. What is your role? Let's play it.
Para mí, ser defensora significa romper todos los estereotipos que ha marcado, digamos, esta sociedad patriarcal para nosotras las mujeres. Significa romper esquemas, significa ir adelante, digamos, luchar por estar bien, por vivir bien.
Sabemos que las mujeres vivimos en condiciones desiguales entre hombres y mujeres y pues es una carga muy grande algunas veces hacer ese trabajo en este marco de desigualdades sociales.
Para mí significa un compromiso de vida, significa la solidaridad, significa también el compromiso y la lucha por una vida libre de violencias, significa el poder garantizarnos espacios seguros, significa trascender y poder seguir haciendo nuestro trabajo con el menor riesgo posible.
Siento que nosotras desde el trabajo que hacemos no nos consideramos defensoras, pero también hace falta que reconozcamos la importancia de la labor que hacemos porque si tratamos de apoyar y proteger a las mujeres que defienden los derechos desde el territorio, pues eso también en cierto sentido nos hace defensoras, ¿no? Porque defendemos la vida, defendemos nuestros derechos, defendemos nuestros derechos a volver a tener las cosas que nos han quitado.
Ang aming pinagkabuhayan, nagtanim ng luya lang, palay, mais.
Tanim nila to?
Oo, tanim.
Di, napigil ko, sabi ko, hindi pwede kayong magbako ngayon. Kausapin muna ninyo ang aking asawa bago magbako.
Ang nangyari po ay pinatawag po ako ni Kapitan ang sinabi po sa akin na may meeting. Yung oras na yun din, yung araw na yun din, nandyan na po ang bako.
Dati, may sabi na rin si Kapitan na magagawa daw ng kalsada pero hindi pa kinausap kami yung dadaanan.
Sabi ko kay Kapitan, kahit man lang po yung aking mga niyog, ang bayaran dahil nga po sa kuhan sa hindi ako bagat may permanenteng pinagkikitaan. Kung hindi doon lang galing sa aking niyog ang pinagkukunan kung panggasto sa aking mga anak, pang araw-araw na pangailangan.
Sabi ni Kapitan kay sa asawa ko, bakit naman babayaran ng malaki? Sabi niya, bakit hindi? Ang aking lupa binubuwisan. Ang aking niyog sayang. Doon ako nabubuhay, yung aking mga anak pag walang panresist, doon ako nagakuha ng pambili sa kwan para may i-resist sila, para may ibili ng bigas. Sabi ni Julian ay hindi pwede talaga. Basta't wala pang bayad, hindi pwedeng magbako ng aking lupa. Ang aking buhay ay diyan na nakasalalay sa aking lupa. Ako'y hindi namimigil ng kalsada. Ang sabi ko lang, bago niyo ituloy ang kalsada, bayaran muna ninyo ako. Pinalibutan na ng 3 doon, hindi natatakot. Sabi nila, ay, ang aking lupa ay buhay ko. Hindi pa nabawas. Hanggang doon sa dulo, ma'am, nakakakuha kami ng 3,000, ma'am. Buo. Ngayon, ma'am, ang nagkupras uli kami ngayon, ma'am, 1,000 na lang. Ang naramdaman ko ay takot, ma'am, dahil yung asawa ko talaga, hindi na siya parang yun na talaga ang kanyang tindig na hindi na pwedeng baliin baga. Tapos ang sabi ko lang naman, sabi sa asawa ko, kung alin ang tama, yun ang ating gagawin kahit saan. Ang mahalaga, ang panindigan natin ay panindigan kung doon sa tama. Pag ganitong proyekto ng gobyerno, kailangan may EPIC papunta sa mga mangyan. Yung dadaanan talaga ng proyekto ng gobyerno bago lulunsad ang proyekto. Kailangan magkaroon muna ng kasunduan. Kasi kaya magulo ang tao, ang mga madadaanan. Walang kasunduang maayos.
What have you seen men do to stand up for women?
I've seen men calling out other men, which I think is one of the most important things that men and young men and boys can do, is when they see behaviour which they feel is unacceptable, which they know or have been educated is unacceptable, that they actually call each other out on it and they be brave in those uncomfortable social situations and say that actually it's not okay.
So currently in the company I work for, it's quite a male-dominated industry, so I work at a tech startup. What my company is doing is very much trying to focus on getting some more women in. Obviously they have to be the perfect person for the job too. As a female entrepreneur, I have found that often my male entrepreneur counterparts have been more well received in industry. Really hope that young female entrepreneurs in particular can be taken more seriously.
My name is Ana Paula, coming from Mexico, where sexism and gender equality is deeply ingrained in the society. It comes in very direct and very obvious forms, such as aggression, domestic violence. However, in more progressive societies like here in London, it comes in more masked forms.
For far too long, the conversation about gender equality has been essentially women really working hard, campaigning hard to change their own lives and to change the way that we work in our communities. And we see that there's a huge gap there where men we're just not becoming involved, we're not listening, we're not supporting these changes. And so our part in changing the world and creating gender equality is to try to engage those men, to show them that these conversations are not just conversations about what they shouldn't do and what's wrong, but actually what they can do to contribute to it, to actually build better lives. So we talk about, what do you want to be as a person? What sort of values do you want to stand for? And what sort of community do you want to live in? Do you want it to be safe for other people? And we find that men love to be involved at that level.
My name is Ben Hurst. I'm the Head of Facilitation and Training at the Good Lad Initiative.
My name is David Brockway and I am the manager of the Great Men Project, which is one of the projects of the Good Lad Initiative. In our workshops, an important part of the process is talking about understanding emotions. One of the things we always try to say to the boys is that when you're feeling frustrated or upset or sad or confused or embarrassed, how do you deal with that? And the response is almost always to get angry. And not just to get angry, but to turn that anger into aggression. What if you go through your life with that message? What happens if the thing that frustrates you is your partner? We are in a scenario where potentially you are sowing the seeds for a future abusive relationship, all because men and boys are told from a young age that you're not allowed to express how you feel. We know that men don't talk about this stuff enough. We know that men don't talk about gender equality enough. We know that it's often still the case that when someone says gender, you think women. And we want, from a young age, boys to understand that this not only means them as well, but that they have a part to play even when it doesn't mean them.
To me, the notion of gender equality essentially means that everyone, wherever you are on kind of the gender spectrum, male, female, or anything in between, however you identify yourself, should essentially have the same freedoms.
One thing that's really important is for us to make sure that girls have access to women who are in leadership positions themselves in order to act as role models, as mentors.
At the base of it all, we are human beings. We're all fundamentally the same. Things that have been issues for many years are phasing out, thank goodness, but it's a process, but it's taking too long. And the faster that gets resolved and we truly live in a gender equal society, the better. It's down to us acting now. I stand for gender equality.
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 I stand for gender equality. I stand for gender equality.
Hello and welcome all to Global Landscape Forum. I'm Nishad Shafi, Executive Director of Arab Youth Climate Movement Qatar. Arab Youth Climate Movement Qatar is a non-profit, non-governmental organization based in Qatar. AYCM aims to provide knowledge that serves the public interest and maximize the general welfare. We do this through raising ecological consciousness of the citizens and residents through high-quality environmental awareness programs organized to various age groups and gender based in Qatar. We believe women and girls play a crucial role in climate action, and it is essential to make sure this role is not only understood but also incorporated into our sustainable development goals. Climate change cannot be fully addressed by individual countries, but rather requires enhanced global cooperation from both policymakers and non-party stakeholders in order to bring women's voice and specific needs onto the table. We at AYCM Qatar helps increasing knowledge and capacity of our women and men through workshop and knowledge exchange, so that systematically we integrate gender consideration in all our work, hence to have a full and a meaningful participation of our women in climate action. Climate action improves our lives, today and always. It makes us healthier. It extends our lifespan. It saves our economy. It helps us get around, helps us to connect with people, and also strengthen our economy. It helps us to get jobs. We have to continue our fight against climate action so that we stay optimistic and our fight continues. Thank you.
Huge layoffs expected.
The collapse of the coal industry.
It's taken a complete nosedive.
Coal is dying. More people now work in the car wash business than in the coal business. The coal industry has been declining for nearly a century. This is a good thing. It means less air pollution and less carbon to fuel global warming. But it's not that simple for coal communities. Coal plants often sustain the very neighborhoods they pollute. So when a plant retires, jobs disappear, along with the tax revenue the plant pays to the surrounding community. Things like trash collection, local businesses, and even schools can suffer. But there's a better way for towns to transition away from coal dependence. A just transition describes the process of rebuilding a community in a sustainable way after losing a polluter and job provider. It's a framework that takes care of workers who lose their jobs, replaces tax revenue, and heals the environment. This doesn't just take community support and input, but quite a bit of money from government too, for training programs for laid-off workers, and bridge funds to replace lost tax revenue. But enough with the models. Real-world example, please? This is Tonawanda, New York. Its coal plant closed in 2016, but luckily, Tonawandans hatched a plan. Local leaders all teamed up to lobby for funding. They got millions to make up for lost tax revenues. The plant's owner will be responsible for cleaning up the site, and Tonawandans will help decide what they want to see rebuilt there. Maybe a museum, or a park, or a bioenergy plant. Thanks to more than 1,000 community members coming together, everyone in Tonawanda can breathe a little easier. And that's a lesson any community can learn from.
to move the hell out of the way. Because this is our future. This is ours.
I'm asking that Ms. McConnell stand with us or have the courage to look us in the eyes and admit why he won't.
Those who felt able and willing to risk arrest did so in the name of pursuing justice for all people in this country. And we stand alongside. The spirit of tens of thousands of young people across this country has completely flipped politics on its head.
Climate change is real, and it is happening now.
Climate change is not a hoax.
The biggest threat to our prosperity in this 21st century is climate change.
So that we can take on global climate change and actually care about clean air and clean water for everyone.
The first, foremost, and paramount duty of the United States, and that is to defeat climate change.
My name is Vicky Tauli Corpus. I'm a Kankanay Igorot, an indigenous person from the Philippines, and I am the UN Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. The effect of lumping indigenous peoples or critiques as criminals is basically shutting down the resistance and the voice of indigenous peoples who would like to have a say in what is happening in societies. So it's really an effort to silence the critiques and to make invisible these horrible things that are happening.
Sister of ice and snow, I'm coming to you from the land of my ancestors, from atolls, sunken volcanoes, undersea descent of sleeping giants.
Sister of ocean and sand, I welcome you to the land of my ancestors, to the land where they sacrificed their lives to make mine possible, to the land of survivors.
I'm coming to you from the land my ancestors chose, Islang Kainan, Marshall Islands, a country more sea than land.
I welcome you to Nunat, Greenland, the biggest island on Earth.
With me I bring these shells that I picked from the shores of Bikini Atoll and Runit Dome.
In my hand I hold these rocks, picked from the shores of Nuuk, the foundation of the land I call my home.
With these shells I bring with me a story of long ago. Two sisters frozen in time on the island of Buyay. One magically turned to stone. The other who chose that life to be rooted by her sister's side. To this day, the two sisters can be seen by the edge of the reef. A lesson in permanence.
With these rocks I bring a story told countless times. A story about Sesuma Amna, mother of the sea, who lives in a cave at the bottom of the ocean. This is a story about the guardian of the sea. She sees the greed in our hearts, the disrespect in our eyes. Every whale, every stream, every iceberg are her children. When we disrespect them, she gives us what we deserve, a lesson in respect. Do we deserve the melting ice, the hungry polar bears, waters coming to our islands, or the colossal icebergs hitting these waters with rage. From one island to another,
I ask for solutions. From one island to another,
I ask for your problems.
let me show you the tide, coming for us faster than we'd like to admit. Let me show you airports underwater, bulldozed reefs, blasted sands, and plans to build new atolls, forcing land from an ancient rising sea, forcing us to imagine turning ourselves to stone.
Can you see our glaciers grown the weight of the world's heat? I wait for you, here on the land of my ancestors, heart heavy with a continuous thirst for solutions. As I watch this land change while the world remains silent.
Sister of ice and snow, I come to you now, in grief.
Mourning landscapes that are always forced to change. First, through wars inflicted on us.
Then through nuclear waste dumped in our waters.
On our ice.
And now,
this. Sister of ocean and sand, I offer you these rocks, the foundation of my home. May the same unshakable foundation connect us, make us stronger than these colonizing monsters that still to this day devour our lives. The very same beasts that now decide who should live,
who should die. Sister of ice and snow, I offer you these shells and the story of the two sisters as testament, as declaration that despite what we are told, we will not leave. We will choose stone. We will choose to be rooted to this reef forever. From these islands,
we ask for solutions.
From these islands,
we ask, we demand that the world see beyond
ACs, SUVs, their pre-packaged convenience, their oil-slick dreams.
Beyond the belief that tomorrow will never happen, that this is merely an inconvenient truth.
Let me bring my home to yours.
Let's watch as Miami, New York, Shanghai, Amsterdam, London, Rio de Janeiro, and Osaka try to breathe underwater. You think you have decades before your home falls beneath tides?
We have years, we have months before you sacrifice us again, before you watch from your TV screens and computer screens to see if we will still be breathing while you do nothing.
My sister, I offer you these rocks as a reminder that our lives matter more than their power. That life in all forms demands the same respect we all give to money.
That these issues will affect each and every one of us. None of us is immune.
And that each and every one of us has to decide if we will rise.
Kalibatid ko sa aking susunod, inoksa nga po dakuni ko si masano ilumo sokso inunaming kamaning so